Welcome back to Fit and Fierce After 40. I'm Holly Smith-Williams, and this episode is a big one because it's about staying motivated when progress feels slow or sluggish. Have you ever been working out, eating right, and doing all the right things only to feel like nothing is changing? Maybe the scale isn't moving, your clothes don't feel any looser, or you're left wondering, why am I even bothering? I've been there too, and trust me, it's completely normal. In today's episode, we'll dive into why progress can feel slow, how to keep going even when it's frustrating, and my top tips for staying motivated. So grab a cuppa or lace up your trainers if you're listening on the go, and let's get to it. I'll never forget a time when I was training consistently, lifting heavier weights and eating what I thought was a super clean diet. But after about 6 weeks, the scale hadn't budged and my reflection in the mirror did not look any different. I started asking myself, what's the point? What I didn't realise back then is that progress often happens behind the scenes. Just because the scale isn't moving doesn't mean your body isn't changing. And more importantly, I learned that the scale isn't always the best measure of success. If you're feeling stuck, I want you to remember this. Slow progress is still progress. In fact, it often is the most sustainable kind. Let me explain why and give you a fresh perspective on tracking your wins. So why does it feel like nothing is happening? Now here's the thing. When we start a new fitness or nutrition plan, we often expect instant results because, well, we're putting in the effort, aren't we, right? But here's what's really happening. Number one, your body is adjusting. When we make changes like lifting weights or eating more protein, your body needs time to adapt. You might not see it right away, but those changes are setting the foundation for long-term success. Number two, muscle versus fat. If you're strength training, you might be building muscle while losing fat. The scale might not move, but your body composition is improving all the time. That's why I always say, take measurements or photos, not just weigh yourself. Non-scale victories. So sometimes the best progress isn't on the scale. It's how you feel. Are you sleeping better? Are you feeling stronger or less bloated? Those are huge wins, but they often go unnoticed because we're so programmed to look at the scales. Still feeling disheartened? Well, here's a mindset shift that helped me. Progress is about getting stronger, not just smaller. These are my top 3 strategies for helping you stay motivated when results feel slow. I also remember that I'm doing this for my future self, building muscle so that I can be strong in later life and still be active. All right, here are 3 things you can do right now to stay motivated, even when it feels like nothing is happening. So write down other signs of progress, like lifting heavier weights, feeling more energized, or even your clothes fitting better. For example, I recently noticed I could carry all of the shopping bags from the car in one trip, and that's a win. For my husband anyway. You can also, instead of obsessing over the scale, set habit-based goals like I'll strength train twice a week or I'll drink more water today. When you focus on what you can control, the results will follow. And every little step matters, so celebrate them. Did you stick to your workout plan this week? High five yourself. Managed to avoid a late night snack? That's a win too. Here's ways of tracking your progress in ways that are not related to stepping on the scales. Okay, here's what I do. I open notes on my phone. I use measuring tape to track changes in key areas like waist, hips, thighs, and arms, but I only do it on one arm and one leg because I'm lazy. But measure every 2 to 4 weeks. There's no point in doing it more than that. But what I'll do is I'll put the date in. I'll put my weight in also because I think that's just interesting. Then I'll put all my measurements in, and then I'll take 3 pictures from the front, from the side, and if I can from the back, which is a bit difficult. And I'll paste those pictures into my notes, and then I can look at that for future reference, really, because you will notice the change. I mean, this is really helpful in strength training because you lose inches even when the scale doesn't move. So it's really interesting to do that. But take your progress pictures, even if they're really unflattering, you'll notice such a change. So take your pictures in the same outfit. I mean, I usually do it in underwear, which is, maybe hide that file, and do it every 4 weeks from the front, from the side, from the back, so you can see all the changes, because you're not often looking at the back, but my backside has changed quite a lot. And that's just from my shoulders as well, my shoulders to my back shape and everything. So it really does shape you. Track your strength gains as well. So I have my training plan in an Excel. Well, no, it's a Google sheet. It's not an Excel, but I have that on my phone. I take it to the gym. And so I fill in every time I do the exercises with what weight I'm doing, what progress I'm doing. Maybe I'll even put notes in if I feel like I could go heavier next time. Or if I'm not feeling like lifting a lot, I'll put that in too. But it helps to see your progress, definitely. You can even put in if you're doing more reps, if you're doing less reps, what weights you're doing. But you'll notice soon that you're smashing your goals. And every time you lift heavier, it is like a huge little win for you. It's amazing. But pay attention to how you feel too, because obviously during your menstrual cycles, you do feel different. And if you're perimenopausal, hormones are going to be all over the place. But are you feeling less fatigued during the day after you've started training? Are your moods more stable, or are you sleeping better? And maybe keep a little diary of that on a daily basis. And these are all signs that your efforts are paying off. You can also use your non-scale victories and celebrate wins too, because if your clothes are fitting better, or even better, you have to buy new clothes. Now that's my favourite. And of course, even if you're the same size, buying new clothes because you feel better how you look is amazing. You could have improved posture. You could feel like you're sitting taller, carrying heavy. We're obsessed with carrying heavy shopping, aren't we? I am even happy when I can open a jar easily, because literally 1.5 years ago I could not open a Tupperware. I'd had an augmented mastopexy. I can barely say it, and basically I didn't realise that means cutting your pectoral muscle. So you can imagine the rehab after that, and that is when I started lifting weights. Grip strength will improve too, and that is a sign of longevity, that you can grip. But we won't talk about your calloused hands. That's a sign of getting hench. So you just have to invest in some nice gloves or wraps. I won't show you mine. A good tip is to use a fitness tracker or app. Now, you could use something like MyFitnessPal or Fitbit to track your workouts. I use my Fitbit, but I also like to track my calories on the NutriCheck app. I find that that's got a lot more British foods on it, and I just prefer the interface of it. I really like it. My top tip is this though, for using it: don't sync it with your fitness tracker, because once you start inputting your workouts into it, they increase your daily calories. I think that kind of, I've done this much exercise, so I've expended this many calories, so I can indulge in more, leads to bad habits. So just don't sync your calorie tracker to your fitness tracker and keep those separate. Stick to fueling your body correctly and staying within your daily calories. But we need a whole other episode on tracking calories, protein and fibre. We'll do that in another episode, don't worry. Another good way to avoid the slow progress slump is focus on outcomes and track habits like drinking 2 litres of water a day or strength training at least twice a week, aiming for 30 grams of protein in each meal. Consistency with these habits will naturally lead to progress. Key tip here is celebrate all forms of progress. I mean, it's been ingrained in us since the 80s to be skinny, smaller, not strong, healthy and vibrant. Whether it's physical, mental or lifestyle related, small wins add up to big changes over time. Remember, progress is about consistency over time, not perfection every day. And when it comes to lifting weights, it's months and years that you see massive progress. I find it amazing how our bodies can adapt and change. It's not too late, just because we may be in perimenopause or menopause, to build muscle and be strong and feel really good. So if you're feeling like progress is slow, I want you to remember this: slow progress is still progress. Your body is changing, and even if you can't see it right away, the fact is that you're showing up and putting in the work means that that's something to be really proud of. So here's a challenge for this week. Track one non-scale victory. Maybe it's a new workout you've tried, or you've had better sleep, or you're feeling just more confident or more energized. Write it down, celebrate it, share it with me on Instagram at Fit and Fierce After 40, or use the hashtag Fit and Fierce After 40, and I'd love to cheer you on. So if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might need a little motivation now. And don't forget to subscribe and never miss an episode. Next week, we're diving into how to eat for hormone balance. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Stay fit and stay fierce.